Good morning. This morning's practice is called staying low head to toe. So it is we'll be moving, but it's a slower paced practice that really gives the opportunity to check in with your whole body and how you're feeling today, how you're moving today, and really listening to any of the messages that your body might have for you. So let's get started. I'm going to start with using this little prop. It's called a spinal strip. If you don't have one, don't worry. You can use, if you've got a smaller yoga mat rolled up quite tight, you can use that. If you have a blanket rolled up into a cylinder, you can use that as well. So, one edge of your prop is going to be placed just at the level of the bottom of your breastbone, so the bottom of your sternum. And then the other level will come and rest your head on that part. So as you lay back, you're coming into a little bit of a back bend. So the one edge of the folded spinal strip for me, or it may be of your rolled blanket or your yoga mat, is just about here underneath me. And then just taking a moment to land here. Breathing easily. And feeling what you feel. This can be quite an intense sensation for some of us who maybe spend a lot of time working at a computer. For any of us, really, this can be quite an intense sensation. So if the back bend that's created with this prop is feeling like it's a bit too much, then you can bring a blanket or probably a blanket is best, and just slide it under your hips. So lifting your hips up a little bit will decrease the amount of back bend that you're in and make this a little more accessible for some of you. Wonderful. So then staying on your prop, we'll bring arms up overhead. Bring your hands close enough together that your thumbs can touch. And then from here, it's a movement of your shoulder blades on the back of your rib cage. So keeping your elbows just easily straight, don't have to force them or anything. Then push your arms up towards the sky, and then let gravity slowly pull them back down. Shoulder blades sliding on your rib cage as you reach up, and then sliding on your rib cage as you head down. Gentle and easy. Notice what's happened to the rate and rhythm or the ease of your breath as you head into the first movement of this practice. And notice where your system generates the effort in this pose, in this movement. And then on the opposite end, notice which parts of you generate the ease in this movement. Wonderful. Then just letting your arms come back down. And then we're going to roll off of our prop, off the spinal strip, off your blanket, and just move it off to the side. And coming back this time, lying flat on your mat. Feel again, acknowledge now here the parts of you that are now firmly, solidly on the ground that were not when you were on the spinal strip. Then we'll bring arms back up to the same starting position. So with that L and backwards L positioning of the hands. And this time, bringing arms just all the way back as far as you can come towards overhead. And then coming back up to center. And again, as you explore this movement, coming in and out of this pose, see if you can check in on 3 things. The effect on your breath. So can you move in a way, in a range, with an effort or a determination that allows your breath to stay calm and steady and reliable? So we'll check in with breath and then check in once again with where is the effort, where's the driver of this pose, this movement located? And then where's the ease? Which parts of you are able to stay as easy and relaxed as possible? Great. And let your arms just rest back down by your side. We're going to come on up into a tabletop position. We're going to move through cat and cow. With this cat-cow, I'm going to ask you to see if you can bring the effort of the movement down around your hips and your pelvis and your low back, so that the movement starts down at the lowest part of your spine in each direction. So we've waved from the bottom up into our extended cow position. Then as we move from here into cat, start the movement down at your low back again and let it wave up to your head. Moving back down to your pelvis again. Pelvis rolls over the tops of your thigh bones to start the movement. And then once again, pelvis starts the movement into cat. And as you move and explore here, checking in, check in with your breath once again, check in with the ease and with the effort. Good. And we'll come back just to a neutral tabletop position. You can tuck your toes beneath you. And we're going to shift from having 6 points of contact on the floor, 2 hands, 2 knees, and 2 sets of toes. We're going to shift from 6 points down to having 4 points of contact on the floor. So easy breath. Feel your hands, feel your feet on the ground, and then play with lifting your hips straight up off the ground. Your knees just come straight up, just an inch max off the floor, and then let them lower back down again. So try to move in a purely vertical direction as you just gently lift and come back off. Often what will happen is we'll shift forward and then press up. Try to stay in that purely up and down range, lifting the knees and come back off. Notice the effect on your breath. Notice the shift into where the effort needs to move from when, as you transition from 6 points to 4 points. And how much ease can you generate in this challenging movement? Wonderful. Untucking your toes. Sending your right leg straight back behind you. As you move your leg back and forth, notice if your pelvis wants to move as well. So for the purposes of this practice today, I'd ask that you try to keep your pelvis level so that there's no cat-cow type movement happening with this. And there's also no hiking, no kind of wagging your tail movement happening either. Just nice and easy. Good. Keeping your leg relatively extended, can you bring your leg across towards the left side of your mat so that you're crossing your other leg? And again, as you come into that movement, move only as far as your leg bone can spin in the socket of your pelvis without your pelvis needing to tilt to help bring the leg over. Good. So once the leg is crossed, then you can bend your knee so that you're bringing your knee down on the outside of the left leg. Then keeping your hips level and square still, we'll rock back. So your weight will come off of your left knee and onto your right knee as you rock back. Good. And then come forward. Left knee will come back down on the ground. Send your hips straight back. So they're moving in a straight line, forwards and backwards with your legs crossed. Very similar to an eagle pose position for your legs. Good. One last time, we'll rock back and come forward. Let the weight come back into your left leg and we'll uncross. Wonderful. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Checking in for how your movements, how does your body generate and respond to these movements? How does your breath change or shift? How do the areas of effort and ease change and shift? Good. So again, keeping your pelvis nice and level, just easy, easy. Now we'll cross, leg behind, and then back out. Crossing, leg behind. This is a movement of just the leg in the socket of your pelvis. That's your hip, where those two bones meet. So we'll keep it across without the pelvis needing to move. Good. Then we'll let the knee bend and come down on the outside and head into our straight back and forward movements. So pelvis is moving through space, forward and backward. Hips and shoulders are the joints, are the articulating surfaces. Good. Notice your breath. Where's the effort and where's the ease? Lovely. One more movement back and then forward. And we'll come back down onto our backs. So So laying down on your back once again with knees bent so that your feet can come flat on the floor. You can lift one leg up and then lower back down. Good. So notice again with this movement, where's the effort? Where can you maintain ease? And what's happening with your breath? This time we'll hold your leg in the lifted position. Then again, turning from your thigh bone so that you can bring your ankle across to your opposite knee. So just as we were in the previous movement, the pelvis stays, your pelvis can stay nice and quiet. Just let this movement come from the leg bone pivoting. Beautiful. Then once you're here, gently pressing your knee away and then letting it come back. As you press and release, using the muscles around your hip. Notice if there's effort coming from other places, a little further away than your hip. So notice your jaw. Notice if you push the back of your ribs into the floor or the backs of your arms into the floor. And see if you can let there be kind of a concentrated effort around your hip, surrounded by a whole lot of ease. Then you can just simply let your leg rest where it will. Bring your arms a little bit wider. We're going to come into a twist. So twisting, keeping your legs in this orientation. Off to one side, back to center, and then off to the other. So with this twist now, your pelvis is moving in a twist. But we'd like to stay quiet and still in this movement is your rib cage. So your rib cage is going to stay easily connected down to the ground as your pelvis rocks from side to side. Great, coming back to center, uncrossing your legs. Let's head to the other side, lifting and lowering the other leg. Notice again, we're in a situation where we're decreasing the number of points in our base of support. So notice, how does your body meet that demand? How does your body redistribute the load as you lift one foot up off the ground? And then as that foot comes back down into contact with the ground. And we'll hold this leg lifted, then turning from the thigh bone so that you can bring your ankle across the opposite knee. And then, without using your arms to push your leg away, use the muscles around the hip of the crossed leg to spin thigh bone in the hip socket so that your knee is moving through space. Your knee is not the part doing the work. It's ease. The knee is all about ease. Your hip is doing the work, and your knee gets to just kind of enjoy the ride. Then resting And we'll head into the twisting. Arms can come a little bit wider. And pelvis now rolls from one side to the other. Moving in a range where you can continue your easy, reassuring breath. Moving in a range that is most certainly not painful or uncomfortable. Always, always finding that dynamic, exploring the dynamic balance between effort and ease. In our really driven world, we tend to overemphasize the benefits of effort. And there are benefits, for sure. But also see if you can start to tap in and notice the benefits of ease. Great. Uncrossing your legs. And finding just a comfortable position to lay for a moment at the end of this practice. Your knees can stay bent, or you're welcome to send your legs long down your mat. Closing your eyes. And feeling how your practice has landed in your body. And we'll continue with the consideration of the 3 areas we've been exploring, keeping track of this whole time. So here in a very restful pose, following 20 minutes or so of mindfully moving. How is your breath? How do the parts that created effort feel? And what about those parts that generated ease? How do they feel? Now you can stay here for as long as you like until you head off into the rest of your day. I will see you back here next week, every Tuesday morning around 6 a.m. I will be here leading another integrated yoga therapy and physiotherapy practice. Have a great, great day. Take it easy. Take it easy today, everyone. Thank you. Bye.